You got there and it took about 2 periods to say, whoa, that's something special over there.
We let a couple of bad goals in the first 2 games at home, and then we just never really got it going.
The Red Wings have taken the Flyers' game plan and ripped it up.
They beat us 4 straight, they dominated us, and we really weren't in the series right from the start.
The 1997 Detroit Red Wings are Stanley Cup champions.
As it turned out, the Red Wings were a very good team that I think a lot of people underestimated. The Flyers, this was supposed to be their moment, but the Red Wings got in the way.
The '97 Cup run was the apex for the Legion of Doom. And although the team never made it back to the finals, the Flyers still provided their fans with some memorable moments.
We're throwing everything we have at the Pittsburgh Penguins. Both teams are battling back and forth.
We got into overtime, and our locker room was full of characters at that time. Rick Tocchet, Keith Jones, Craig Berube, guys who really knew how to keep a locker room on an even keel. And as the periods started to go by, the overtime periods started to go by, it became more humorous as we went along.
Put on another pot of coffee. This game could be on ESPN Classic before it's over.
After a while, you know, you don't even know what time it is. You don't know how many periods you've played.
It just went on and on and on, and it's like Groundhog Day. It was the same thing at both ends of the ice.
By the 3rd overtime period, we were running out of Powerade, we were running out of power bars. Guys wanted to order pizza. They delivered pizza.
Ate a lot of pizza.
We're eating pizza to try to keep our energy up.
What you do remember is there's more pizza waiting for you to eat.
Gary Dornoff was actually eating some pizza, and all of a sudden our producer says, "You guys are on." We turn around, and I'm talking, and I look over and I see there's actually some pizza here.
Some guys had their blow dryer going on their skates.
Guys getting intravenous put in, getting fluids back in their body. We're looking for popcorn, whatever we could get our hands on to eat.
There was a lot of great stories. I mean, Keith Jones was hilarious on the bench.
I can remember actually going on for a shift, standing at center ice right in front of our bench and looking one way, looking the other way, and saying, change.
He jumped back on the bench and told Craig Ramsey, the coach, "Don't put me out there again, I'm done."
Who's going to be the hero tonight in Pittsburgh?
2 other times earlier in the game, I'd gone wide on Darius Kasparaitis, only to be cut off at the net or cut off behind the net. So I faked like I was going to go outside on him again, and as he crossed his feet over, I was able to pull the puck back on my forehand and get a shot off.
Primo moves deep with it, stops, the shot! He scores! He scores! Keith Primo! And they will win it! And the Flyers win the test of will!
I think Ron Tugnutt was just as tired because the shot, although it looks great, it probably hit the middle bar in the net, and it was a great feeling. It was exhilarating, and our guys were just excited it was over.
Oh, I remember Sammy Kapanen getting hit so hard by Darcy Tucker, he was dazed.
Oh, boy, was he hit by Tucker!
Kapanen was out cold on his feet.
He was up, but he was skating back towards the middle of the ice.
He doesn't know where he is. He's staggering toward the middle of the ice.
I was able to get my stick out and kind of direct him to the bench.
And the Flyers, in the meantime, are in their own zone, and they're pinned in. And it's a shooting gallery around the Flyer net, and it looks like Toronto's going to win the game.
But then all of a sudden, Jeremy Roenick picks up the puck, goes down the wing.
Look out here, 2-on-1, Roenick, Amonte Roenick shoots, he scores! Jeremy Roenick has propelled the Flyers to the Eastern Conference Finals!
And they would advance to battle the Tampa Bay Lightning. Game 6 would provide another unforgettable moment.
2 minutes left to go in the 3rd period. Tampa Bay leading at 4-3. Primo got it away to Commander. A shot. Score! Primo scores!
The tying goal was more fluke than anything, kicking it with my skate over to the other side of the net.
Keith Primo has dramatically tied this game.
You know, it's hard to believe there's 40 years involved here, but I'll say this, 40 years of a great organization.
Primo draws it, side of the net, running shot. Oh, score! We've got game 7!
For me, it's my life.
To be known as a Flyer is an honor. It really is a privilege.
To me, it is tradition, winning, pride, all the things it takes, character.
If I had a choice, there would be no other place in the world I'd play except for the Flyers. I have played with other clubs. You know, I played with Boston, Oakland, Detroit. And I know I don't even mention them. They always say, "Who did you play with?" I said, "Philadelphia Flyers."
Loyalty, commitment, dedication. Rare words today. Rarer still when applied to a sports franchise. But then again, for 40 years, the Philadelphia Flyers have always been more than simply a hockey team.
The Flyers are a family. You know, starting right from the very beginning when Ed put those original teams together. And, you know, Ed Snyder has been here right from the beginning. You just don't see that in sports. And he set the tone.
He loved his players. He would do anything he could for them. And to this day, he's still doing the same thing.
And another look at Ed Snyder. 4 decades, he's been putting his heart and soul into this franchise.
I'll never forget when I first turned pro. I wanted to settle in Philadelphia. I made it that I wanted to be there, and Mr. Snyder helped me personally to purchase a house, even though I couldn't quite afford it at that time, that we could make it work a little bit later on, and I've never forgotten that.
The way that they make you feel is that you're still a part of the team. The day I retired with 2 years left of my contract because of knee injury. Ed Snyder's the guy on the phone to me the next day after the doctors make it official, not to bitch and complain about me retiring early on my career, but to wish me well and offer any help or assistance I need in getting on with my life after hockey. Those are the kind of things that, to me, separate the Philadelphia Flyers from everybody else.
I worked a few years in Minnesota and a year in Florida and always come back, and because of Mr. Snyder, people that worked here, the players were always treated special, and it was always team.
For today's team, the goal remains the same. The same as it has since Ed Snyder and the Flyers lived the glory days of the mid-1970s.
Ed, we got word that everyone's out in the street in Philadelphia, that horns are blaring. It's like New Year's Eve, VJ Day, VE Day, and last year's celebration all rolled into one. Guess what? I can't wait to join it.
Just to win a Stanley Cup would be nice, and then Philadelphia hasn't won a championship in a while, and it'd be nice to give them something that they deserve.
That would definitely be nice. Obviously, our ultimate goal is to win the Stanley Cup, and to build on that for years to come. And I think we got some good group of guys here, and hopefully we can build something here.
Coach, you can't tell me that to a man the thought of another parade down Broad Street hasn't crossed the mind of each and every player in that dressing room.
That would be unbelievable, win a Stanley Cup here. I think you'd be remembered your rest of your life here in Philadelphia. They'll just love you. It's what they're dying for right now.
I spent a long time in the American League. I was fortunate enough to win down there 4 times. And when you can do it better than anybody else, it is the ultimate, and I know it's the American League. To have a chance at the Stanley, that is our goal here. We're going to build a team that's has this bond that can get it done, and as a kid, if I could have picked a place to win, it'd be here. So that's our goal, and that's our intent, and we're not going to stop until we get it done.
From the beginning, the Flyers were really built like the town we played in. Blue collar, tough, unrepentant. But rarely have a city and a sports franchise been so closely identified with each other as Philadelphia and the Flyers were in the 1970s. As players, we were revered as heroes, and our adventures became lore. Well, the Flyers haven't captured a Stanley Cup since, but that bond with the fans and with the city, well, it's never loosened. And Philadelphia will always be a blue-collar, tough, proud city. No matter who wears the uniform, the fans will always expect the same from their team as the next 40 years of Flyers memories are created. I'm Bill Clement. Thanks for being with us.
The city of Philadelphia, to me, is the greatest sports city in North America. And I know that's a huge statement, but when I look at the Philadelphia Flyers and the way the support has been and the energy that the fans have brought to this team over the years since 1967, it's just been absolutely incredible.
There is passion in a fan, as there is in sports. I don't think there's any doubt about it.
It's a blue-collar city, and all they ask for is hard work.
That's what Philly's all about. It's gritty, it's hard-working, it's got an edge and a chip, and that's what we've been as the Flyers.
The fans love this stuff in Philadelphia. If there's a rink in the NHL that the fans appreciate this more than anyone, it's here in Philadelphia.
You know, when things are going well, they're unbelievable, and you know, they know their hockey. So when things are going bad, you know, they get on your case.
Even if we didn't win, if we worked really hard and put in an effort, the people are always there behind us.
It's nice to go to a city where you can play, feel like you belong, live thereafter, have a career, and get to know a lot of people outside of hockey. This is probably going to be my home for the rest of my life.
The fans in this city are not just hockey fans. Most importantly, they are Flyer fans, and they want to see us win every night.
In Philadelphia, if you do something good, they'll never forget you, and they've never forgotten us.
This is one of the greatest hockey franchises that will ever be in the National Hockey League in my mind.
The only thing they can expect from this organization is that we'll work as hard as anybody else, any other organization, and we'll do everything humanly possible to win the cup.
Tonight, hockey does itself proud. For tonight, we honor a man who has truly earned our praise, and I emphasize the word earned. Bob Clark was a great playmaker, outstanding anticipation, but most important, Bob Clark has earned this Hall of Fame award because he possessed three qualities that make men great. Bob Clark is a competitor, the best I've ever seen. Bob Clark is a leader, and men followed. Bob Clark is a worker, every game, every shift, every practice. 20 years ago, we were a struggling franchise. But then, on June 12th, 1969, with the words, "The Philadelphia Flyers select Bobby Clark," all of that changed. Our franchise became a team. Bob Clark led our team in his own image, an image of hard work, an image of incredible courage, the image of a winner. If anyone wants to know what the Philadelphia Flyers are all about, go no further. Bobby Clark is what the Philadelphia Flyers are all about. In 1972, at the ripe old age of 22, Bob became the captain of the Flyers, the youngest captain in the history of the NHL at the time, and in my opinion, the best captain ever. He was the best defensive center in the NHL, but that didn't stop him from being our all-time leading scorer with over 1,200 points. But stats don't tell the real story, because stats cannot measure the size of a man's heart.